From the boxing ring to your podcast station, here are the three guys that talk nothing but boxing. Ricky, Enrique, and Juan.
Welcome back to another episode of Boxing Talk. I'm your host for today, Kike, and joining me as always, we got Ricky
What's up, Boxing Talk?
and Juan.
What's up? What's up?
Guys, we had a great weekend of boxing. This is episode 53. Hopefully, episode 2 on YouTube now. Uh, but guys, if before we get our episode started, don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram at Boxing Talk Podcast. On Twitter, we're under as Boxing Talk Pod, and on YouTube, just type in Boxing Talk. Before we get into the fights, guys, anything you want to let our fans know before we get into this?
No, like you already covered it, compa. All those social media platforms, and I can't wait to talk to our listeners about our awesome event that we went to in Pomona, California. It was such a good and memorable event that we attended. Our first one, our first of
Yeah,
many, guys. First of many.
exactly. So we're
We
gonna
got media
we're gonna
passes.
talk about that experience, and before we do, we're gonna talk about our 5 fights we had this weekend. Let's start it off, guys. Um, the first fight was Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Vincent Astrolabio. Guys, let me know what you guys think of the fight. This fight was streamed on YouTube. I think the channel was People's Fighters. They were fighting in Dubai. And what do you guys think of Astrolabio's victory over Rigondeaux? Is this an upset? Is this something you guys expected? I mean, we did go Rigondeaux, but we were kind of iffy on the pick. But let me know what you guys' thoughts on the fight was. Let's start with you, Juan.
Well,
Man, what can I say? This fight, like Ricky said previously off air, Rigondeaux should just fucking retire, dude. By this time, the first time we saw him live, performed bad. He was just running,
it was
and
boring.
it was really boring. And then the second fight, after seeing the fight, you're just like, really, like you were expected to win,
Yeah,
and now you're just like, are you serious? You should just retire from now. I think he's really old for a boxer now.
you know,
Most boxers retire in like the late 30s, mid 30s, and I think he's just past
But
that
it's
age
like
now.
Kike. It's like Kike always says. Those Cuban fighters, they fight until they can't any
yeah.
longer, man.
I
You
mean,
know.
to me, he looked better obviously than the last fight against Casimiro. He actually didn't run as much, but he just wasn't throwing either. It's like he was wanting to wait for that one perfect punch instead of just letting his hands go, man. He was coming forward, but what's the point of coming forward if you're not going to throw? And
Hmm.
even though he didn't throw as much, he still managed to win on the judges' scorecards 5 of the rounds. Ultimately, guys, this fight was a draw. The main difference was that Astrolabio knocked down Rigondeaux in the eighth round. Um,
Yeah.
that was the deciding factor. It was all three judges had it 95 to 94 for Astrolabio. If that knockdown doesn't happen, it's a 95-95 score.
Hmm.
It would have been a draw. I mean, I'd want to say Rigondeaux needs to retire. He could. He has nothing else to prove. But for his sake, I mean this fight, I think calls for a rematch. I don't know. What do you guys think, or do you guys just want to see Rigondeaux done and that's it?
I want to see Rigondeaux retire, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm being honest. I want to see him just hang up the gloves.
yeah,
Obviously that's something that decision he has to make with him and his family. But I don't want to see him back in the
yeah.
ring
Hey,
after
but
after
It
back to
also
back losses.
if
it
Astro
also comes down to
go on, sorry.
the fact that he's old, and he's never gonna
Yeah.
go for a championship bout anymore. He's not gonna go for the belts. It's like, are you gonna just be there to freaking lose to up and comers? Is that what you're gonna be known as your retirement?
And
It's like, I don't think anyone wants that type of name.
I think this fight was it was like a regional title belt, which means those kind of belts only matter because it does put you in the top contention list to fight for a title again. But hey, at the end of the day, whether it's you lose by 1 point or you lose by 10 points, he lost. Um, but let's give more credit to Astrolabio. The guy came out of nowhere. Nobody really knew about him. He came in with a 16-3 record. Being that young and already having 3 losses, it's not too good of a look. Um, so that's why a lot of people were going Rigondeaux. But ultimately, the man came and did what he needed to do, and he improves his record to 17-3 with 12 knockouts. What do you guys think? Is this guy the real deal? Was this a fluke? Was he just facing an older man and got lucky? Or what do you guys think? Is Astrolabio ready to take on a champion? Is he ready for the likes of a Casimero, the winner of Casimero or Butler? Or is he ready for a Nonito Donaire? Or is he ready for a Naoya Inoue? Let me know what you guys think on Astrolabio facing one of those guys.
I don't think he's ready at all. Like you said, he was a no namer.
Yeah,
Just because he beat who Rigondeaux,
yeah,
I don't think Rigondeaux was at his top best like he was before. I
yeah,
don't think he deserves any of those fights yet. He should continue to fight, make a name for himself after this win. Fight one of those other top contenders. You got other boxers in there that I think are in the top 10
yeah,
contention stands. Fight one of those guys, not the champs though.
yeah,
You don't deserve
Yeah,
it yet.
definitely not. Definitely not the champs. And like we just mentioned, he faced an older Rigondeaux. He's an older guy who just suffered back to back losses. So I don't think he's ready either to fight any champions. And I
yeah.
agree with Juan. He should fight another contender.
I mean, uh, unfortunately, we all take a loss in this one, guys. We all went Rigondeaux. I know we were iffy on it. We wanted to kind of go Astrolabio, but we were unsure because we didn't know much of Astrolabio. But hey, we take the loss. And I remember us mentioning age is a factor. We always talk about the different factors going into a fight. That was one of the big factors. But hey, hopefully Rigondeaux retires. But if he fights, I don't think he's a top guy anymore. This losing this fight solidified to me that he's just not a top guy anymore. Just hang up the gloves, man. But guys, moving on to our next fight that happened in Scotland, very controversial fight between Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. And before we get into the fight, guys, I want to say this: Cole, the producer here, is getting new into the boxing game, and even he thought Jack Catterall won. That goes to show you, not to say that Cole doesn't know anything, but like I said, he's just getting into the boxing world, watching these fights, and even Cole knew that El Gato won. Let me know what you guys' thoughts on the controversy of this fight. Did Josh
Well,
Taylor
Gobo, first
really
of
win?
all, Gobo, first of all, remember we watched this fight going to Pomona.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We
we
were
watched
watching it
it.
on
We
the road.
watched it go to Pomona. I thought it was such a controversial fight, but obviously, I think that Josh Taylor lost big time.
Yeah,
And also, the controversy with the ref, like deducting a point uh, on Catterall because he hit Taylor in the stomach. I thought it was like one of those like, hey, good round. You know what I mean?
no, it was
But the
actually it
ref
was
did.
actually
It
the
was
it was actually Taylor that hit Catterall. So
Yes, my bad. Yes,
they deducted a point from Taylor, but they did deduct a point for Catterall for hugging in the 10th round.
yes,
So they
for
did
hugging.
deduct
Yes.
a point for Catterall, and they deducted a point off Taylor for, yeah, that was weird. And then also Catterall knocked down Taylor in the 8th round.
Hmm.
So here Taylor lost 2 points essentially. He lost a point for that punching after the bell, and he got knocked down, and he still won. Look at the CompuBox stats, guys. The CompuBox and ESPN ringside, everybody was posting them. The the stats. Catterall won 11 of the 12 rounds. Last I checked, guys, boxing is about hit and don't get hit. So whoever lands the most punches, you're supposed to win that round, correct? Meaning
Hmm.
jabs or power punches. And Catterall outlanded Taylor in 11 of the 12 rounds. Now tell me how the judges ended up with the scores of 8-4, 7-5 for Taylor, and then one judge had it at a draw 6-6. Even if you had it at a draw, that's not close, dude. It should have been the other way around. Catterall at least 8-4. Catterall at least 7-5. But dude, it's that's crazy, man. It's ridiculous, and this is why people don't watch boxing because of decisions like this.
Exactly.
I don't know, Juan. What do you think on this fight? What they robbed
Yeah, I
Catterall,
know.
man.
Yeah, I know you guys were watching it on your way here to actually pick me up, but uh, I was in the shower watching it. No, just kidding. But I was actually getting ready, putting on the fit for the day. But I was watching and I saw that the 2 points being taken away. I totally disagree with the refs on both points
Yeah,
actually, because the pushing and the hugging, it's part of boxing, man.
yeah,
You try not to get hit. And how do you do that? You try to clinch up when you're in a difficult situation. It's literally part of the sport. And then literally after the other little punch to the stomach, I don't think that was really necessary to a point taken away. You see a lot of people do it. It's like
Yeah.
a little tap. It's not even a full
Yeah.
punch.
Exactly.
So
Yep. Yep.
it's like
it was
really
kind of like a attaboy tap. It wasn't. I don't think
Like
it
good
was.
round.
Yeah, I don't think it was meant like with
It wasn't in a
maliciousness.
menacing. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
menacing.
So,
yeah.
guys, I mean, Taylor retains all of his belts. He's still the undisputed champ, although it should be Catterall. I mean, the only other fight I can think that's this ridiculous was the Concenciao Valdez fight. That's two fights I can remember now: Concenciao Valdez and this fight now on the list of most ridiculous scorecards. Um, Sorry, Catterall man, but you're the champ, man. Come back, and Taylor's going to move up to 147 anyways, which means all the belts are going to get vacated and it's going to be open season for all these super lightweights to go for each one of the belts. So, what's next for Taylor, guys? What's next for him? Does he stay at
A
140?
rematch.
If he does stay at 140, what does he need to prove at 140? He's
Well,
conquered the division. Or does he move up
Enrique,
to 147?
Enrique, right now ESPN is informing us that Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall scoring to be investigated by British Boxing Board.
Yeah, exactly.
They were saying that, and yeah, Juan, you said rematch, right? Um, it says right here in this article that Josh Taylor offers Jack Catterall a rematch at 147 with no belts. I don't
Yeah.
know how true that is, but
See, that's so dumb and ridiculous because it's like, are you serious? Like you
hmm
fought for the belts. Why would you give him a 147 bout?
But
hmm
not even
Take the
that.
rematch.
Take a rematch at a higher weight division with no belts. Like, what's the point?
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like, I don't know, man. Catterall literally
It,
waited 2 years to get this fight. He fought the fight of his life, and like
yeah.
he said, man, it's not just that he got robbed, but all the work and sacrifice that he put in to do all of this, and he still lost. And I mean, he lost on the judges' scorecards, but we all know, man. You should have read the comments. I mean, everybody was saying robbery, robbery, robbery.
Oh yeah.
I think we all agree. Uh, so what's next for Taylor, guys? You guys want to see him back at 140? But if he does stay at 140, who's he got left? He's wiped out the division.
like I said, I think it's the rematch, man. That's what I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see him
I want to see a
rematch it,
rematch too.
yeah. Because
and that's all I'm gonna look
because
for.
otherwise he would need to get a rematch with Prograis. He already defeated Prograis. A rematch with Jose Ramirez,
hmm
a rematch with Catterall. I mean, otherwise, I mean, do you really want to see Taylor with guys like Barthélemy, Barboza, Sandro Martin, or Cepeda? I mean, Cepeda kind of interesting fight. The other guys, like, no, like Taylor already proved he could beat the best at 140. I think for me, guys, although I want to see the rematch, I want to see Taylor move up to 147. I want to see him move to 147, and because technically he's still undefeated in the books, he can get a fight with Crawford. Um, Based off his performance against Catterall, he's gonna get whooped by Crawford, man. But
Oh yeah,
we'll
I
see.
agree with you, compa.
I think Taylor's next move. I think this was his last fight at 140. He was giving him he was giving the excuses that the reason he didn't do well is because he's having difficulty making the weight. And we always see that boxers, whenever they lose or they have difficulty, they always blame it on the weight drain. They always blame it on the weight drain. So I see Taylor moving to welterweight next. So I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that, especially like you said after his performance right now.
Yeah,
I could see him move up at 147, and it'll be exciting to see him at 147 to see what he brings to that
yeah.
division.
But yeah, guys, let's move on to the Showtime card that happened. The first fight of the night on the Showtime card was Jerwin Ancajas, the former champ, facing against Fernando Martinez. And I say former because, guys, and the new Argentinian uh, fighter, Fernando Martinez, becomes the new IBF super flyweight champion. I mean, he dominated, guys. I mean, the
Yeah, he
judges
did.
had it. Two judges had it 10 rounds to 2 for him, and one judge had it 9-3. Granted, Ancajas fought like the champion that he is, but Martinez just outworked him. Uh, Great performance from him. He's a new player in the super flyweight game now. Now he can face guys like Chocolatito, Srisaket or Rungvisai, Cuadras, El Gallo Estrada. I mean, what do you guys think he brings to the table now that he won?
Well, he was exciting.
Yeah,
He was an exciting fight. It was exciting to see him. Um, I don't know. I think he's gonna pose a challenge to the other fighters,
think so.
and he's got to do something with that hair though, that blue hair.
I was gonna say uh, that blue hair, man. But hey, we called it, guys. Well, I think you guys were going on Cajas, but I was calling that Martinez.
Yeah,
He came from an Olympic pedigree for a reason. These Olympic fighters, when they go into the pro game, they tend to be successful. Um, so hey, he was ranked. I think what Juan coming into this fight, he was ranked 11, so he was actually ranked pretty low out of the top 15, and he
yeah.
still pulled it off, and he proved to the world why he's the new champion. I think this ruins Ancaja's plans of facing Ioka now, because remember, guys, back in December it was supposed to be Jerwin Ancajas versus Kazuto Ioka for a unification fight. That obviously stopped because Japan closed their borders, and no fights could happen there. So that all got rescheduled. Ioka went to fight somebody else, and then Ancajas took the danger of this, and look, he lost his strap. I think this was like his 10th title defense or something like that, and he finally lost. So,
I,
what was that one?
I mean, like you were saying, Fernando Martinez brings in it's like fresh meat, you can
Yeah,
say,
exactly.
fresh meat for the boys to take out there, and these champions are gonna want a piece of it too. And
Yeah,
why not take a guy that just made a name for himself? No zeros yet,
yeah,
no losses. It's like the
Hmm.
zeros gotta go.
yeah. So, who would you guys want to see him in there next? Do you want him to see defend his belt against a contender like Srisaket or Rungvisai? Um, or do you want to see him defend his title against a guy like Kazuto Ioka, or a guy like
I
or like Bam Rodriguez, the new champion, or El Gallo Estrada, or he can even
I
take
think
on the winner of this weekend's fight of Chocolatito versus Julio Cesar Martinez. Who would you want to see him fight
I'm
next one?
I mean, I think it would be Juan Francisco Estrada, just because since he's already out, due
Mm.
to he pulled out to his fight because I think it was COVID, right?
Yeah,
I think it was
Yeah,
COVID.
because of COVID.
That makes
So
sense. One.
why not have a guy that didn't get to fight his last fight with a guy
Yeah.
that just took a win, duke it out, and then run it if Juan Francisco Estrada wins, run it back with Chocolatito, or if not, then whoever takes the winner after that of Chocolatito and uh and Martinez. So
yeah.
that would be a good fight.
What about you, Ricky? Who would you like to see the Argentinian with next?
Hmm. Yeah, I would like to see him también con el Gallo Estrada, but I would like to see him with Kazuto Ioka too, though.
Yeah, I think
Kazuto Ioka.
for sure, we always say it, champions versus champions, man. So he's definitely got to take on either Ioka, he's got to take on the Bam Rodriguez or El Gallo Estrada. Take one of those
Hmm.
three guys. Do your best to try to fight one of those guys. If you can't get those guys, then take on the winner of Chocolatito, Julio Cesar Martinez, or you can take on Srisaket Sorungvisai. Because Sorungvisai, that's another guy that had to pull out of his fight too. He was supposed to fight Cuadras, and then Bam Rodriguez stepped in to fight Cuadras to become the champion. For all we know, uh, Srisika could have been the champion right now, but he had to
Hmm.
pull out due to illness too. Or maybe have Srisika and Gallo Estrada duke it out again to fight Bam, and then Ioka faces um, Martinez. But we'll see. It's this makes the super flyweight division even more interesting because it seemed like for a while you had the same guys that were dominating. It was Chocolatito,
Yeah,
Sarungbisai, Gallo, Cuadras, and now you got the new guy Martinez coming in. So it's going to be exciting, guys. The next fight that happened on the Showtime card, it was Victor Postal, the Ukrainian fighter, versus Gary Antoine Russell. And I mentioned Ukrainian guys because he lives in Ukraine, and we all know what's going on in Ukraine right now. It's sad news, and he still went and fought, regardless of his wife and his two twin boys being in the country. And I'm sure, obviously, he's distracted. He's worried about the safety of his family, but he still went to fight. I mean, you got to give the guy credit at least for that, because most of us would have just, hey, I'm not fighting. I got to go take care of my
yeah,
family. This guy still fought,
yeah.
and he gave Antoine Russell a good fight, man. But to recap, guys, before we delve into it, Russell won by 10th round TKO, so he TKO'd him in the last round, which to me the TKO call was bullshit. It could have kept going. Um,
Hmm.
but Gary Antoine is the first one to knock Postal out now. So now he's 15-0 with 15 knockouts. He's knocked everyone out. What are your guys' thoughts on the fight?
In this fight, we also we were watching it ringside
Yeah,
at the event. Remember, Kike?
yeah, exactly.
We were watching this event. Um, I don't know. I thought it was a good fight, compa. It was cool seeing the Russell brothers back in action.
Yeah,
Although his brother, what's the other guy, Gary Russell Jr.
yeah, Gary
You know,
Russell
although he
Jr.
lost his last fight, it was cool seeing him in his corner. You know what I mean, coaching
Yeah,
him. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was an exciting fight to me, compa. But yeah, like you said, it kind of sucks about Posto. I think that he might have been obviously distracted in this
yeah.
fight.
And even though he was
I
distracted, it was a close fight. Me personally,
Yeah.
I scored the fight 6 rounds to 4 for Russell. It was a very close fight. Who knows if it would have gone the distance? Some judges might have
Hmm.
seen it Postal's way. Me, like I said, me personally, I had a slight edge to Russell, 6 rounds to 4. Um, what were your thoughts on the fight, Juan?
like you guys were saying, Postal. When you mentioned that day of at the fight, he's never been stopped.
Yeah,
Um, and this gotta mean something. Maybe like you
exactly.
said, I think the call was fucking bullshit
No,
too.
it was
I thought
bullshit.
it could have gone. I didn't get to see it fully live.
Especially when it's the last round, dude, and the both dudes
Yeah,
have been giving it their all. It's the last round. It's like, come on, man, really? And then, like you said, Postal had never been stopped, dude, and he's fought guys like Jose Ramirez.
yeah.
He's fought Terrence Crawford, who's a big puncher, and he's never been stopped. And maybe this says something about Russell. I mean, although the call was bullshit, but hey, 15-0, 15 knockouts. Does this make Gary Antoine Russell a top super lightweight now, guys? In your guys' opinion, what does this make him a top player in the 140 division now?
I don't think a top player just because he has the name, but he doesn't
Dude, he
have
just beat
to me.
Postal though. Postal has
He doesn't
fought these
have the
top guys. Nobody's knocked out Postal. I don't know. What do you
like you
think,
said,
Opa?
the call was bullshit.
No, obviously, like you just said, compa, he knocked Posto out. But yeah, that's a great boxer, a great fighter.
Yeah,
So I don't. I don't know. I think he might be ready. I
yeah.
think he might be ready. Um, Maybe fight somebody else before he challenges one of the top ones out there. Before to actually see his
Because he's
performance
kind of
again.
he's kind of a small 140 pounder.
He is.
He's not like
He's small.
stature wise. He's what, 5'7", 5'8"? So he's not that tall for the 140 division. Usually guys at 140 are 5'9" and up. So if you're below
Mhm.
5'9", you're kind of on the shorter side for 140 pounds. Because Postal was what, like 5'11", 5'10"? You could
Yeah,
see
because
the
in this
height
fight,
difference
if
there.
you if you notice, I noticed that Russell was when he was throwing a punch, he was kind of like jumping into
Yeah,
it.
he had to because he couldn't
Yeah, so you
reach.
could
His little
tell. You
arms
could tell
couldn't.
the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
his little T Rex
is he
arms.
ready to take
I'm
on undisputed champ Josh Taylor?
No, he's not. I think he should take on Sandor Martin or
Oh, that's a
even
good fight.
Regis Prograis.
Ooh,
Just
that's a
because
good fight
Sandor,
too.
because Martin just came out of a win against your
Mikey,
boy Kike. So
Mikey.
yeah, I think that would be a really good fight. Two people that are up and coming. One just took a great win.
Yeah.
Another one just defeated Postal, like you said. Why not run it between those two? That would be a really
Or
good
even
fight.
He has good options.
he has an option against Barthélemy. Barthélemy's a PBC fighter, so they're part of the same tree. Cuban fighter Barthélemy, very good. He hasn't fought in a while, so maybe he's seeking a fight. Why not Barthélemy versus Russell? That's a good fight. You got Arnold Barbosa Jr., but he's most likely they're speculating he's gonna fight Teofimo. Jack Catterall, guys. Let's not forget Jack Catterall. He could fight Jack Catterall. That's a big fight too. Catterall um, versus Russell. Like Juan said, Sandro Martin, two guys coming off good wins. Regis Prograis, the former champ, or he can even take on the winner of this weekend's fight, Jose Ramirez versus Jose Pedraza,
Yeah,
or even
that'd be good.
Jose Cepeda. But to be honest with you guys, I think the easiest out of all those named, the easiest fight to make is against Barthélemy. Because Barthélemy, out of those guys we mentioned, is the only PBC fighter. Barbosa's an ESPN guy. Catterall, what's Catterall? He's kind of everywhere. I think he's a free agent. Ramirez and Pedraza, they're ESPN. Cepeda is ESPN. Regis Prograis can kind of fight anywhere. Sandro Martin is the zone. So I think the easiest one to make is Barthélemy next, and I think that's a good next move. Um, just because Barthélemy fights the Cuban style, moves around, boxes,
Hmm.
so can show another side of Russell that he can box too, and see if he can knock out a guy that moves. So he's proven so far, 15 opponents, he can knock all of them out. So 15 and 0, 15 KOs. Good job for the young guy. We wish him nothing but the best. We'll see what's next for him. So um, we're hoping he fights in another within the next 3 4 months because that's what it seems like boxing is nowadays. The next most recent fight, if you get it quick enough, is within at least 3 months. Um, but guys,
Hmm.
we had a Sunday fight this weekend too. That rarely
That was
happens.
weird.
Yeah, but happened in the UK. It was Lawrence the Sauce Okoli versus Michael Cieslak. What were your guys' thoughts on that fight? And before we get your thoughts, actually, let me just quick recap. Okoli won via unanimous decision to retain his WBO cruiserweight title. He improves his record to 18 and 0, 14 KOs. He beat a legitimate top contender in Cieslak, guys. Judges had it 9-3, 8-4, and 7-5 for Okoli. What are your guys' thoughts on his performance on Sunday?
I just think that he won. He looked good. He looked good out there. Um, like you said before, he did score a knockout in the fifth round.
Yeah.
So I think, with this being said, I think he should go for another belt. Why not go for maybe Ilanga Macau?
Or
That's the
you
easiest
know
belt, I
who
think.
they're kind of wanting to match him up with? I think is Briedis. Briedis was there, and he was dressed as Mario for some reason. I don't know if you guys saw. He was
Really?
he was dressed as Mario, and I'm like, what the fuck
So
is he doing? He was trying to call out Jake Paul. I don't know. He's all like, I'm
What?
Mario because I'll smash all the coins out of Jake Paul. I'll take his money and beat him up. So I don't know. He's a
Anthony Joshua
clown.
was there too.
Oh yeah, because Anthony Joshua is his promoter. I think he's a Coley's promoter,
Oh,
and he
really?
and he's his friend, or he's like his
Oh, shit.
manager or something. I don't know. They're signed to like the same. I don't know. I don't
to
know if it's
Oakley,
promotion, but he has them signed for something. They're friends, but they're
maybe
also
Yeah,
signed under the same
he was
company or
sitting
something.
next to he was sitting next to, oh my god, what's the promoter, the
Eddie
best
Hearn.
one right now?
Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sitting next to Eddie Hearn.
so
So
that's the promoter to Lawrence Oakley or to Myers Briedis.
no,
To
you're talking about Joshua.
oh, who was it?
Yeah, Joshua.
Joshua, he's. I, I take that back. I don't think he's a promoter, but he's like signed through a management or something. I don't know. I got to look back into it, but there's something where he has him signed onto something. They're best friends and they spar often, um, but they're signed under. He has him signed under some management or something like that. But
Mm.
we'll see. Who would you guys like to see Okoli with? I mean, to me, this fight, guys, yeah, Okoli showed he was good, but it was a lot of hugging that fight. Too much
And there
hugging.
really was.
Yeah,
There
it was a
really
lot of
was a
hugging.
lot of hugging.
Yeah, so
There really was. I don't know, but I think I don't know. I think he should fight somebody else and continue to grow as a champ.
yeah,
Before
I mean,
he.
if he does
Uh-huh.
fight Briedis, he's gonna have to come out as a Big Mac and then Briedis as Marty.
That's a big
but we'll
man.
see, man.
It's so funny because my wife and I watched that fight, and I was like, "Hey, did you know he was a McDonald's employee? That's why his nickname is the Sauce."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy, man. But
yeah,
yeah, hey, I
yeah.
mean, Okoli handled business regardless of it being a sloppy fight. Um,
That's
I
perfect,
want
Gopa.
to,
You said it right. You said it correctly. It was a
yeah.
sloppy fight.
It was sloppy, but hey, yeah, does he need to improve? Yes, but guess what? You're a champion. You have to
Hmm.
fight other champions. In my opinion, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you need to get better or not. You're a champion for a reason. You need to prove you're the best out there. So, dude, you got to fight either Arsene Goulamirian next, the Frenchman, Ilanga Makabu. I think he's what from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, or South Africa or something like that. And then you got Midas Briedis, who's from Latvia. If you can't get those champions, the only other guys out there, guys, are Tabiso Mchunu or Uniel Dorticos. Other than that, I mean, move up to heavyweight then if you can't get those fights. If you can't get Briedis, Gulamirian, or Makabu, just move up to heavyweight. So I think because
Yeah.
Cizlak was his mandatory, so he had to just get him out of the way. Next step, yeah, like Juan said, unify, dude. Just unify. But next thing, guys, that was all our fights for the weekend. We had 5 fights. I think Juan, you went what 3-2 on the picks this weekend. Ricky went 3-2 on the picks, and I went 4-1. Um, we're gonna update the leaderboard later in the episode, but guys, let's go. Let's discuss our experience we had at our first boxing match as pretty much the press, right?
Oh,
Media.
that was cool.
So Ricky,
Media.
let us know how it went for you, how it went for us. Give us a little recap.
Yeah, so like we stated earlier, this was it was an exciting experience. We've been waiting to do this for a couple weeks now. They let us know like a week or 2 weeks ago, compa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
And it was just cool hanging out with the boys again, and bringing Cole along with us.
yeah,
And this was his first experience in a boxing match event, so I'm pretty sure I saw him enjoy himself, dude. Cole puts in work, man. He was
yeah,
getting so much footage.
yeah.
So for you guys that follow us on Boxing Talk, when you guys if you guys saw that nasty knockout, that was Cole that
That's
grabbed that
cool.
footage. He
Yeah,
was right there ringside. So it was cool seeing Cole having the good time. It felt pretty cool. Like, oh, you see the general line, and then you see the
yeah,
media line, and I'm like, oh, we're with Boxing Talk. Oh, go over there. What's
yeah,
your name? Literally, like in the movies,
yeah.
brings up a list. I was like, oh, my name's Ricardo, and oh, here's your media pass. Like,
uh,
what? So we all got our media passes, and then they directed us to the media pass area.
yeah,
So we were there early.
yeah,
We were one of the first ones there early from the media,
yeah.
so we were able to get a table, and there was a lot of fights. There was a lot of fights.
Ton
I'm
of
sure you
fights.
guys
It
can
was
agree.
cold too, man. It was cold that
It
night.
was so cold.
Oh, it wasn't that cold and like amongst everyone in the media and like you were there, but once you walked out, you're just
Oh,
like,
dude.
holy.
It was cold, man. But it was such a good experience, man. Like there was a lot of good fights. Some of them, they were okay. But then obviously when Ashton Sills, the guy we went to go
Yeah,
see, he came out. What a performance he put.
dude. Nasty knockout.
He did so good. Nasty. It was a
Yeah.
short left hand.
Check out
Uh,
our
uh, uh,
IG page. We posted the video. Brutal knockout in the
Also
second
on
round.
Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter
And
as
Twitter.
well. And I'm sure Cole's gonna throw in that highlight reel, and he's working on the YouTube video. That'll be released sometime later in the weeks coming. But yeah, man, like you said, Ricky, I enjoyed getting to take Cole too, and Cole putting in work, man. Cole, the producer. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, it was a lot of fun. We got to see Abel Sanchez, Triple G's ex trainer, and we also got to see Fusi. Yeah,
Fuzzy too,
Fuzi. And
Yeah,
Fuzzy.
Lucy too.
he's a popular guy on YouTube. For those of you that follow YouTube, so he was literally right in front, the next row
In
in
front of
front of
us.
us, because we were right there
Yeah.
ringside. So that was pretty cool. Those were probably the biggest celebrities I think we saw. Was
Yeah.
Fusi and Abel Sanchez. Um, I think we also saw Ryan Garcia's ex manager, but he's not a big deal.
Oh
But
yeah.
like he was his Garcia's ex manager. We saw some refs that have been involved in some big fights
Oh, that's
as
right.
well.
Yes, yes.
So it was a fun experience, guys. You know me, I
It
just
was
like
so
watching
much fun.
fights, so I enjoyed it. And thank you again to H2O Promotions for giving us the opportunity, to Ashton Silve, to Jen, for giving us
Jen,
that
yes.
opportunity to cover that fight and to be able to, just get content and be able to put it out there. So thank you guys again. Hopefully, we still stay in communication and we're able to do more events with them. But yeah, guys, it was a lot of
and
fun.
and huge thank you also to Ashton. It was cool how he texted us the next day.
Yeah,
That was pretty dope about for Ashton to do that. And yeah, like you said, Kike, thanks so much to H2O Promotions and Jen. That was a really great experience, and I can't wait
yeah,
for that YouTube video.
yeah,
Like I said, Cole's putting in work, putting in different
yeah,
camera angles for us, so it's gonna look good. I think it's gonna be good. So stay
yeah.
tuned for that.
Yeah, Ashton reached out to us and asked us for that video actually, and he gave us his dad's phone number. So I texted to his dad this morning actually. So it was a lot of fun, guys. Pretty cool. Um, but guys,
But Gopa, that just reminds me that I can't hang with the youngins, man. We got
why?
home so late.
Oh yeah.
We got home so late,
What do you mean you
and
can't hang? Juan and Cole were snoring in the back. Meanwhile, we
oh,
were.
that's right. They were snugging. They were
Hey, but
snugging it out, and
but
me and Kike were awake.
hey, but actually, oh, so two firsts for Cole. He got to go to his first boxing match, and he got to taste some canes. So
Raising Canes.
we got to get Cole in one of these episodes, guys. It'd be cool.
I know.
Why
And
not?
for
Hey,
those
Cole.
uh,
Cole should pop himself somewhere like on the
Yeah,
left hand,
he's
the right
actually
hand
he's
side.
right.
Just
He's
pop
right
yourself
here.
there.
He's supervising the episode. But
I'm
yeah,
a,
he's.
I'm gonna make a little sticker of Cole and just stick him like right over here.
But yeah, guys.
Hey, and for the listeners that don't have Raising Canes is chicken fingers.
It's,
It's like chicken
it's
tenders
amazing, dude.
with fries, and their sauce is the business, man. Their
It's
sauce is
amazing.
bomb, dude.
Every time I go
I
down
love
to
Raising Canes.
Anaheim area, I go to Raising Canes, man. It's
Raising
bomb.
Canes
Who
sponsor
got
us.
Yeah,
who got you guys on that?
Raising Canes. But yeah, guys,
Who got?
that was our experience for in Pomona, guys. Like we do every month. This is the last day of February already. We're gonna enter March tomorrow. No more fights gonna be happening in February. So let's go into what our favorite fight and knockout of February were. Before we do that, guys, I'm gonna just quick recap the fights that occurred this month. We had Chris Eubank Jr. versus Williams. We had Santa Maria versus Ramos. We had Leo Santa Cruz versus Keenan Carbajal. Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios. John Ryder versus Daniel Jacobs. The Kell Brook versus Amir Khan fight. Jaime Munguia versus Demetrius Ballard. Vincent Astrolabio, Guillermo Rigondeaux. Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. We had Fernando Martinez versus Jerwin Ancajas. Gary Antoine Russell versus Victor Postal, and last Lawrence Okoli versus Michael Cieslak. We only had three knockouts this month, guys. Not as much as we usually have, but a lot of fights. I think we had one, two, like more than 10, that's for sure. And out of those, only three. The only knockouts was Brook versus Khan, Mungia Ballard, and Russell Postal. So, Ricky, let's start with you. What was your favorite fight of the month, and what was your favorite knockout?
My favorite fight had to be Brook versus Khan.
Brook versus
The
Khan.
rivalry there,
Yeah,
that all the everything, they hated each other, man,
yeah,
and they took care of business. It could also be my favorite KO, but I gotta choose Mungia because I'm a big fan of Mungia.
yeah.
So Mungia is my favorite KO.
Okay. What about you, Juan?
I would say for my KO is Munguia Ballard. Just the way he knocked him out, man.
That was
That was
nasty.
brutal.
And what about your
So
favorite fight?
my favorite fight, man, and this is gonna be unpopular, but I think it's the Thurman versus Barrios fight.
I was
Thurman
gonna
versus
choose that
Barrio?
one too, Juan.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Thurman versus Barrios. Thurman coming back shut us up actually because we were
Yeah.
saying he was actually gonna be not.
yeah.
Well, you guys thought that Barrios was gonna win because y'all thought he was too old to come back, but
Yeah.
he shut you guys up.
Jeez, this guy gets
What about
so
you, Kike?
excited to he shut you guys up. Jeez, man.
I won.
Anyways,
I won.
I
Ha
won. Anyways,
ha.
my
He's that
favorite.
little annoying kid in school.
I know. My favorite fight, guys, was Josh Taylor Catterall, because we all know Catterall is the undisputed champ. Even though he doesn't have the title, we know he's the undisputed champ. That's why it was my favorite fight, because here came a guy that nobody gave a shot to. Uh, Everybody thought, even we thought, guys, that Taylor was just gonna wipe the floor with him, and Catterall came and he won that fight. The only one that I know of that truly went for Catterall, no matter what, was our boy Max Orange. Max Orange went for Catterall, and you picked correctly. Even though technically Taylor
Jeez.
won, you picked correctly because Catterall should be uh, the champ. That was my favorite fight, only because he proved everybody wrong. My favorite knockout was Brook versus Khan, only because like Ricky said, that rivalry. Uh, they hated each other, and Brooke showed why he hated Khan. He just stalked him down. He beat him up, dude. He beat that
Yeah,
boy
he
up, dude.
did.
He beat him up and just knocked him out. Um, but yeah, guys, that was our favorite fights and knockouts for the month of February. Let's move on to more exciting news down in the boxing world. So Tyson Fury versus Dillian White got officially announced for April 23rd. I know we already made mention of it, but it's official now. It's going to take place in London. What are your guys' thoughts about it being official? And actually, the first press conference is tomorrow, actually, guys. So I'm actually going to tune into that, see how that goes.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Tyson Fury again. I think it's gonna be such a good fight.
Yeah.
I just realized I'm gonna be on vacay April 23rd.
Oh, nice.
It's my mom's birthday.
Nice.
Happy birthday! Happy early birthday, mama. But yeah, Tyson Fury versus Dillian White is gonna be dope, man.
Yeah.
I think.
What about you, Juan?
Man, I think this is gonna be bullshit because Tyson Fury is gonna win by a blowout, knockout like
Yeah,
in
he
the
is.
first round. I'm already
You
calling
never
it
know
in
though.
the
You
first round.
you never know.
I don't
Oh, but you
know.
know what? I
Dillian,
shouldn't say that because Juan has been picking right. So okay, maybe.
I don't know because Tyson Fury's getting fat again, dude, and
I saw that.
Dillian White hasn't said shit about the fight. He hasn't been on social media. He's been focused, dude. He's been focused. He wants to take this man's head off. So you never know, man. And especially because when you're Tyson Fury, you've been at the top for a long time. You get comfortable.
It's gonna be
Dillian White. This is his first shot
This is a shot.
in years. Look at what's the first guy that defeated Mike Tyson? What the heck was his name? I forget, but
Um,
the first guy that beat, I can't believe I'm forgetting, but the first guy that defeated Mike Tyson, nobody thought that was gonna happen, and it happened. So worse upsets
oh,
have happened in
it
boxing.
wasn't it wasn't no, was it Douglas Buster Douglas?
I
No, no.
think so. Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
But yeah, man. Or look at like Ruiz defeating Joshua. You
yeah.
just never know, guys. You never know. So we'll see. Hopefully, this fight happens. We're what, a month and a half away from
Yeah.
it. So
It,
we'll see.
for our listeners, it was Buster
It
Douglas.
was
He's the one
Buster
that defeated
Douglas. Okay.
Mike Tyson. Yes. Yes.
So Juan, let us know the exciting news about Canelo. What's going on with Mr. Canelo Alvarez?
man.
Sheesh.
So Canelo is actually officially signed a deal for a two
Oh my
fight deal
god.
with the zone pay per view, guys. The zone
Yeah.
pay per view. With Dimitri Vivo and Triple G getting Golovkin. One is going to be taking place in May, I believe, correct?
Yeah, May
And
7th. It's
then which
already
is the
penciled in.
Mhm.
Dimitri Bivol.
yeah, Dimitri Vivo, and then the other one's expected to happen by September with versus Triple G.
Yeah.
And then we have a potential third fight now, that is set to be potentially against Makabu or John Ryder.
Yeah.
Which it's really funny how we were saying that last time. John Ryder is like a just a little mini Canelo with
Yeah.
the body type and stuff,
Yeah.
and look, they have him in the talks now.
Yeah.
Um, but
And
with that being
he's
said,
his
his own pay per
mandatory. That's
view,
why.
yeah, his own pay per view is actually going to be $60 for subscribers and $80 for non subscribers. And Ricky and I were so in disagreement with this.
Yes, we were.
And I think Enrique is cool with it, but
No,
honestly,
it's not that
this
I'm
is what I
cool with
was.
it. It's just that I've never liked pay per view. It's not that I'm cool with it. My argument is saying that because you were saying that this is bullshit. This is not gonna sell, dude. It's Canelo. Canelo's still
Oh,
gonna
it's gonna
sell.
sell.
People are gonna find ways to grab money together and pay for the fight. Canelo is the icon right now. People are gonna pay that price, and they put
But
those
I
prices
think,
because they know it'll sell still.
I think Juan and I agree on this because are subscribed to the Zone
Yeah,
app, and we hadn't have to pay for a pay per view fight for Canelo in the
yeah,
past. So I
yeah.
think that's where me and Juan agree. Like, what the hell? All of a sudden,
But
the Zone
how
pay per
how
view.
do you guys think they're gonna
I,
pay his $160 million in the
Oh,
contract?
we'll see. Yeah,
They have to do the
I
pay per
eso
think
in
views.
parking.
Yeah,
it's more so. It's
Mm.
more so on my behalf. I think this is what ruined boxing back in the day with the Mayweather era, because it was like pay per view, and it was fun. The funny thing is, we were talking with Max Orange, I believe, and when we mentioned, since he was going to go out of town and he had to buy certain stuff, uh, and pay for pay per views, it's like it all adds up, man. Like
no,
it
it
adds
does.
It
up
does.
to, if you're paying $60 or $80, and then there's just, for say, another fight that same weekend, or there's another fight that same day,
Everything is money.
and
Cause
it's,
look,
yeah.
Showtime is like $15 a month if you're a subscriber, and there's fights on
Yep.
Showtime. DAZN is it was $10 for me. They just gave me an email that it's gonna be $20 now, like you guys. So twenty
Oh, you
bucks a
joined the
month
wagon,
plus the pay per view fights. ESPN Plus, the fights that happen on ESPN Plus, those are at least it's only $7, but it's still $7 a
but
month.
it's $7. Yeah.
Any fight you're watching now, there's money involved. There's no such thing as
Yeah.
free. The only thing that I think was free was the Guillermo Rigondeaux Vincent Astrolabio fight, which was streamed on YouTube. Other than that, everything else is it's money. There's money involved. I mean, part of me is like no, but the other part is like, hey, that's how these that's how these fighters make a living too.
Yeah.
They have to get paid through the fans that show up, and they get paid through whoever's watching them. That money has to go to staff. That money has to go to the fighters. That money has to go to the people that make the event. It it's a whole industry, guys. It's an industry, and it's like you can't make these things for free. It takes money. Um, like I said, it's not that I'm okay with it, but I understand it. That's the only thing. I understand
Mm.
it. Like obviously, we when we get together to watch Canelo, that's $20 a piece right there for each one of us. You know what I mean? So it doesn't end up coming out too bad. So um, I'm just
Well,
happy for Canelo that we actually get to see him fight again.
I'm gonna start collecting cans and just selling my cans so I can make it on time for that.
Or we'll
I'm
throw
just
a
kidding.
Juan on the street corner somewhere.
What the fuck?
Hey, I'll sell for sure.
Yeah, yeah, right. Anyways, Copa, you want to let us know about the Demetrius Andrade and Zach Parker news?
Okay, so Frank Warren's Queensberry promotion outbids Eddie Hearn's Matchroom yet again. This time for the Andrade versus Zach Parker match fight. The fight is being rumored to take place in the UK on May 21st.
So this fight, if it happens, guys, well, he outbid it, so it's gonna happen. Uh, it's gonna take place at 168. This is two times now that Warren beats out Eddie Hearn for a fight because he won the Tyson Fury Dillian White fight. So Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions is going to be promoting that fight, and now they're going to be promoting this fight. And Demetrius Andrade is actually a DAZN fighter. He fights for Matchroom, and he got beat out by he got beat out by another
What the
uh,
hell?
a promoter. So, because Eddie Hearn's been promoting Andrade, and another promoter said, "Nope, I think your guy's worth more to me." So he outbid him, and then Tyson Fury, the Tyson Fury fight, he outbid Eddie Hearn for that too. So It's crazy, man. Eddie Hearn taking L's too, man. So, hey, this is going to be an
Shikes.
exciting fight. We'll see what happens. We'll see how Andrade looks at the 168 division. This Zach Parker guy, undefeated and a big puncher too. Not too known because he hasn't fought big names, but you never know. He can give Andrade his first loss too. So this should be an exciting fight. Moving on to the next news, we the WBO has ordered Jaime Munguia versus Janibek Alim Kanuli to face one another for an interim middleweight title. The winner would become Demetrius Andrade's mandatory. Now, before we go into our thoughts on this, guys, originally the WBO ordered Andrade to defend his title against Alim Kanuli. Andrade was not having that. He's like, this is bullshit. I don't want that fight. So that's why he's choosing to move up. But now the WBO is ordering Munguia to fight Alim Kanuli. So what are you guys' thoughts on this fight? I think this is a pretty good fight, actually.
I'm excited to watch Jaime Munguia, and if it's gonna be against Boo Boo,
Uh,
that'll be an
Well,
exciting fight.
it's going to be against
that's taking for.
that's what he's taking it for. He's actually going to be fighting
Yeah,
Alim Kanuli.
that's
Oh
if for say Andre does win his bout and Mungia wins his.
Yeah. So we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah.
But
If he wins,
I think Andred's gonna stay at 168. I think he's gonna vacate the belt and he's gonna campaign at 168 from here on out. But
He's trying to get the Canelo fight, man.
yeah, that's exactly why. That's exactly why he's moving up. But he should be fighting guys like Caleb Plant or Benavides if he really wants to get Canelo's attention, not fighting dudes like Zach Parker. Um, but that's neither here nor there. But anyways, next news, Juan. You want to let us know what's going to be taking place on the undercard of Spence Ugas?
Man, you really want to be giving me the hard names, huh?
Uh, it's
uh,
Radzab
but
Butayev versus a Manta Stanionis. There you
yeah, so they're set to fight under the
go.
card. You should have just said it.
Well, I didn't think you were gonna struggle, bro. I thought you got this. I thought you've been
Ratsa
practicing in front of
Butayev
the mirror, butt ass
and
naked.
Montez.
Hell, not with these freaking weird ass names out here.
Juan's in front of the mirror, like, yes, Radzab Butayev. And while trying to flex and stuff, hey, Montastaniones, I got
Uh,
this. Oh, my
I'm
God.
trying to be like the announcer now coming into the ring, weighing out 170,005 pounds.
Oh my god! But this is a good fight, guys. I think we covered it. But it gets named
Yeah,
official. It's official now. So this is going to be an exciting fight between two young contenders and both undefeated. This is the way boxing used to be, where your undefeated record didn't matter. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So, hey, these guys putting their records on the line. They're young, but they're willing to do it to progress and get closer to facing a champion. So we'll see how it goes for these guys. The winner is supposed to take on the winner of Spence and Ugas. They become the mandatory. So we'll see how that goes for those two guys. Uh, Compa, you want to let us know the next news?
Yeah, the former featherweight champion Lee Selby is set to return on March 26th against Argentinian fighter Gustavo Lemos.
Yes.
Selby, if you guys remember, Selby last fought in October of 2020 when he was defeated by George Cambosos. So,
All right.
what do you guys
Who
think
you
about that?
I think he's gonna get beat again, man. This Gustavo Limos guy is undefeated, big puncher from Argentina. All of a sudden, Argentina's getting a big
Argentinos,
crop of
man.
good. They're getting a big crop of good fighters again. You got Brian Castaño, now Fernando Martinez, who became a champ, and this Gustavo Limos guy. Although they talk about Ryan Garcia and Tank and Teofimo and Devin Haney in the 135, this Limos guy is gonna make some noise. I think at 135. He's already fought 27 fights and he's still not getting talked about. But once he starts becoming mainstream and fighting some of these bigger names, I think he's gonna do well. So I'm excited to see how both these guys look because Lee Selby is no slouch either. He's been a former champ, as we stated. But it'll be good to see this fight. But guys, let me know what you guys thought. I don't know if you guys saw with Triple G and Andre Ward, how they were exchanging words. You want to know a little bit? Let us know a little bit on that, Juan.
Yeah, so I think it was first they asked Andre Ward what was a fight that he was hoping to get before and what didn't happen and stuff like that. And he brought up Triple G, saying that Triple G didn't accept the fight, that he declined it like within like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Triple G response saying, I had just sold out the Madison Square Garden. I had a fight already set. He's like, now you're trying to throw this on me. It's like, come on. He's like, your memory's getting worse, but my English is getting better.
yeah. He's like, my English is
And
getting better, but your memory is getting worse. And then
yeah,
That's crazy.
because when Triple G first responded, he's all quit lying, little G. He called him little G, and it's like that's a fight that back in that time when Ward was still fighting, a lot of people wanted to see Andre Ward versus Triple G. Obviously, it never materialized. Um, but that's just funny because usually you don't see a lot of guys get under Triple G's skin. Triple G's always been
Hmm.
professional. He usually keeps to himself. But the
A good
fact,
a good demeanor.
yeah, but the fact that Ward got him triggered this way, it put Triple G a little bit out of character. But it was funny, dude. He came back with he had some good comebacks, man. I was like, damn, Triple G, he knows how to talk his shit. All right. But just wanted to bring that up, guys, in case you didn't see it. And more on the other news, guys. De La Hoya announced that he for sure will not fight anymore. Do you guys believe
Good.
this man, or is he just bullshitting again? Because he's always fucking lying.
I
I
think
mean,
he's like your bull.
I
Go ahead,
would have
Martin.
loved, I would have loved to see him against Canelo Alvarez just to
Ah,
get knocked out, just
nah,
to get
Never.
knocked out,
that would have never
and
happened,
that's it.
dude.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's saying this right now just to create, to stir the pot because he was training for a while. He was
Yeah,
serious about
yeah,
it.
he
He was
was.
training, and then COVID allegedly happened, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He's saying that right now, but I don't think so. I think he's gonna bring this up later on again.
Yeah, we'll see. He goes through his phases where I'm not gonna fight anymore, or I'll fight. I'm not gonna fight anymore, or I'll fight. Guess who does that too? Floyd Mayweather. All these fighters do that. Marcos Maidana, who
Hmm.
we're gonna talk about, is coming back up. Ricky Hatton is thinking about coming back.
Oh, I saw
Marco
that.
Antonio Barrera has come back a couple times.
Yeah, terrible.
Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. has fought multiple times. Uh, he's fighting into
Jorge
his
Arce,
60s now. Yeah. So yeah, these guys they just can't stay out of the limelight, man.
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. So speaking on Maidana, guys, this is why fighters need to stop talking shit on the YouTubers because of the shit that Marcos Maidana is doing. Marcos Maidana is set to fight Uruguayan YouTuber Yao Cabrera, guys, in a 6 round middleweight match in Dubai on March 26th. Again,
Everything's in Dubai now.
a pro boxer fighting a YouTuber. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think ever since the first things happened, the YouTuber versus a boxer, that started like a fire, and now everybody
Yeah,
wants to fight YouTubers, and it's a smart move because YouTubers are popular and they get views.
yeah,
I get it, brings money, but I don't know. I think it's a joke.
yeah.
I think it's more so the fact that it's retired boxers versus YouTubers.
Yeah.
It's not even the active
Yeah, but
boxers
it's
right
these
now, because
retired boxers that talk shit too.
yeah,
Hmm.
It's not.
I mean,
These retired boxers talk shit on them too. Um, I don't
and I
know.
would expect this from Marcos Maidana. He was fat as fuck, and to come back
He's
against a
he's
YouTuber,
still looking he's still looking a little chunky, huh? When he
He's
was in the
supposed and
fight
he's
with
and he's supposed
Martinez,
to and he's supposed to cut down to 160, dude. That's crazy.
fuck no,
he yeah, he didn't look like
Back
he
in his
was near
heyday, he used to
160.
fight at 147. So,
yeah,
geez,
And I like
160.
Maidana. I'm a
Yeah,
fan of Maidana.
yeah. He was there at the
yeah,
Ancajas Martinez fight just this last weekend. He
Yeah.
he did look
Hmm.
he did have some pounds on him. So, dude, you got like what 3.5 weeks to cut some of that weight, man. So you better get on it. But anyways,
Yeah.
guys, we had mentioned earlier about the Ukraine Russia situation and how it's tied into boxing is that we have former heavyweight champions and brothers Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko actually taking up arms to defend their country. And just
Wow.
recently, too, the ones that joined the ranks were ex pound for pound fighter Vasily Lomachenko, three weight division champion, and the current heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk. This goes to show you guys that there's things in life bigger than boxing. And the fact that they're setting aside, these are their careers. The fact that they're setting aside their career to defend their country, to defend their families, is this shit is serious, guys. What's going on
Yeah,
in in
scary,
in, in
scary
Ukraine? It's
stuff.
scary. I would never wish upon anyone what's going on in Ukraine. I mean, we have kids of our own, we have families. It's a scary thing, man. But these guys are real life heroes. They fight in the ring, and now they're fighting for their lives out in the
Yeah.
battlefield. So what are your guys' thoughts on these boxers setting aside their careers pretty much to fight for their country? Because I don't think, to be honest with you guys, not many people would do that. Not many people would do that. There's been boxers in the past that have been arrested for not going to war. The biggest
Hmm.
boxer that most people know, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was put in
Hmm.
jail for not going to war. Obviously, that was a way different situation. But what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, like you said, these these boxers put their whole career aside. Lomachenko has been in talks recently with Cambosis,
Yeah,
with the fight coming up where he wants to get a shot at those bouts titles
yeah.
again. It's like
And then
really,
Usyk, the rematch with Joshua.
yeah. And so everything's gonna probably get pushed back a couple months, or maybe if God forbid something tragic happens to them,
Yeah,
it might not even happen.
it's crazy,
You
man.
know, it's crazy because this is life or death, man.
Yeah,
This is life or death, and like you said, Kike, this is their careers, and I mean, yeah, I wouldn't wish this on anybody else, and for them to just drop what they're doing, their camps, their jobs, to go
yeah.
defend their country and their families. That's an honorable thing to
And
do.
it's
That
crazy
is an
too.
honorable thing to do, man.
It's crazy too because like people were criticizing them when they didn't join like right away. It's like people were like, "Oh, you guys are cowards, this and that." It's like, wait a minute, guys, they're human beings. Of course, they're gonna be scared. Usyk was gone in a different country doing some other work, and he came back. And then Lomachenko just enlisted. Um,
Wow.
Vladimir Klitschko enlisted into the reserves, and then the older Klitschko brother Vitaly, he's the mayor of Kiev, the capital. He's the mayor of Kiev, Ukraine. So yeah, man, it's these are scary times, and our prayers are for Ukraine, guys. But let's move on to our fights this coming weekend. Trying to keep things a little lighter. We don't want to get too political. Um, but our first fight that's going to be occurring this Friday, guys, March 4th, is going to be Jose Ramirez, the former champ, versus Jose Pedraza, also a former champ. This is going to be a super lightweight fight, so it's at 140 pounds. It's going to take place at Save Mart Arena in Fresno, California. And if you want to watch it, it's going to be on ESPN Plus at 4:15 p.m. on Pacific time. So for that's in California time. If you're from the East Coast, that's at 7:15. You got Jose El Jaguar Ramirez, who's ranked number 2 in the WBC and number 6 in the WBO, has a 26-1 record with 17 knockouts. He's orthodox, 5'10", only 29 years old, from Avenal, California, which is close to Fresno. And then his last fight was against Josh Taylor, which that's who he lost his belts to.
Hmm.
He had lost by unanimous decision, very close fight, but the deciding factor on that was the 2 knockdowns. So he's coming from a 10-month layoff. Um, he's fought the likes of Maurice Hooker, Victor Postal, like we said, Josh Taylor, and now Pedraza. So then going into Pedraza, you got Jose Sniper Pedraza, who's ranked number 5 in the WBO and number 10 in the WBC. He's got a 29-3 record with 14 knockouts, also orthodox, 5'8". He's 32 years old and he's from Puerto Rico. His last fight was against Julian Rodriguez, which he won by knockout. So he's coming off a 9-month layoff, and he's fought some big names too, like Tevin Farmer, Tank Davis, Raimundo Beltran, Basilo Machenko, and now Jose Ramirez. So this is a good fight, guys, and it's funny because Ramirez is ranked higher than Pedraza in the WBC, but Pedraza is ranked higher than Ramirez in the WBO. So give us your guys' thoughts. Who you guys going with and why?
I'm gonna go with Jose Ramirez, compa. I like his fighting style. I we've seen him before. I like how he fights,
Yeah.
and I hope our listener and friend Edito doesn't get mad at me over this because he's Puerto Rican. Sorry,
Yeah.
Edito. but I'm going Jose Ramirez. Not
What?
saying that it's going to be an easy fight, but I'm
Yeah.
going Jose Ramirez.
What about you, Juan?
He's a former champion for a reason, and I'm gonna go for Jose Ramirez as well.
Well, they're both former
Um,
champs, Juan, so that's why this is a good fight, man. And they both have fought some good names, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
have.
when you're Pedraza and you fight Tank and Lomachenko, what kind of experience does that give you? That gives you some good experience right there.
I still see Jose Ramirez, and I'm gonna be bold, but he's gonna knock him out.
You think so?
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the California native as well, Jose Ramirez. I just think he's big for that division. He's another guy that's due to move up to welterweight. I think if Josh Taylor vacates, I think he'll stay at 140 to try to get a strap again. If Taylor doesn't vacate anytime soon, then I think he'll move up to 147. I think this will be his last fight at 140. Pedraza, good, very accurate. That's why they call him the sniper. Very accurate with his
Uh,
shots, but I don't think he has the pop to move Ramirez back. If he had power to move Ramirez back, I would have gone for him. But he just doesn't have that pop to move Ramirez back. Ramirez is a come forward fighter, and he's just gonna pressure Pedraza all night, I think. So I'm going Ramirez as well. Now the other fight,
Edito, when you listen to this, let us know who you're going for.
Edito already said before because we talked about this weeks ago. He was going Pedraza for sure. So he's
Oh yeah,
going
that's
with
what I
his
figured.
fellow Puerto Rican fighter. Um, so
Good luck, Edito.
Juan, you want to mention this next fight that's happening on Saturday?
yeah. So you got Ramon Gonzalez versus Julio Cesar Martinez. Many of you guys may be like, "Who the fuck is Ramon Gonzalez?" But
Roman,
that's
güey. ¿Cuál
Chocolatito.
Ramón?
Oh, Roman. Roman
Ramón.
Chocolatito Gonzalez. My bad. And super flyweight, 15 pounder fight.
Jesus Christ,
Uh,
that's well.
at a, at a freaking arena that we went to already,
Yeah.
Pachanga Arena in San Diego, California, March 5th, 2022, on the zone at 5:30 p.m. So you got Chocolatito Gonzalez again, number one WBA and number two WBC ranked, 50-3 with 41 KOs, orthodox with 5'3", shorter than any of us, man. That's crazy. At age 34, from Nicaragua, and his last fight was a very controversial fight against Juan Francisco Estrada, where he lost in March of 2021.
Yeah, it was
So
a
he's had
split
a
decision
whole
loss.
year,
Yeah,
a
it'll
whole
be
year
a year layoff.
layoff. And then you got El Rey Julio Cesar Martinez, WBC flyweight champion, 18-1 with 14 KOs, orthodox 5'2", with age of 27, from Mexico. His last fight was against Mac Williams Arroyo, in
It was a
which
no
was in November
contest.
2021. No contest with a 4-month layoff.
Yeah, it was a no
So
contest because Arroyo suffered a headbutt clash, accidental headbutt. So because he couldn't continue fighting, it was considered a no contest. So, guys, what are your guys' thoughts on this fight? Chocolatito was originally supposed to fight Gallo Estrada for the trilogy match. And then when the first news got announced that it wasn't going to happen, people were disappointed. But then when Julio Cesar Martinez came in, who's actually the WBC flyweight champion, which is one weight division below, stepped in with 6 weeks' notice. He's like, I'll fight him.
Shit, man.
So he's coming up one weight class to take on the legend of Chocolatito. Let me know who you guys are
Fuck.
going for and why.
You want to go first on this one?
yeah, this is easy. I'm gonna go for Chocolatito, man. It's
You know
he
what? I thought you were gonna go for the other guy
no,
just because you've been on a winning streak.
no, because honestly, like Kike said, he has to come up to him, and I think it's gonna be too much.
It's only three
You
Chocolatito
pounds,
just
though.
is
never know,
It's
man.
only 3 pounds, dude.
You just
3 pounds
never
makes a
know, man.
difference.
It's not like it's going up from light heavyweight to cruiserweight. This is only 3 pounds.
3 pounds makes a difference, though.
We'll see. They're both the same
Like
stature.
like you always say,
They're both the
like you
same
always say,
stature,
wait,
though. But it also
nah,
depends.
Yeah,
It also depends body frame and your fight style, all of that. There's weight classes for a reason, but these guys, a 5'2" guy versus a 5'3" guy, and you only have to move up 3 pounds. It's not that big of a difference.
I mean, also Chocolatito has got more to lose in this fight just because he's looking for a rematch, against Juan Francisco, and it's like really like you want to make that fight happen, then you got to win this fight
Yeah.
too.
What about you, compa?
Um, look at their record, man. I mean, Chocolatito's experience. I mean, not saying that the other guy isn't. It's just like, come on, look at his 50 wins, dude, 41 knockouts. Chocolatito, I think, for me.
I'm going El
What
Rey
about
on
you,
this
Kike?
one, guys. I'm going El Rey. I'm thinking it's not even an upset, but I'm thinking Julio Cesar Martinez. He's the younger guy. He's entering his prime. 27 years old, a champion. His only loss was his pro debut. So he's been 18-0 since. Um, like I said, he's a champion entering his prime. Chocolatito's on his way out, guys. When you fight in these smaller divisions, you get spent. You retire sooner in these smaller divisions because they, as we've seen, guys, they throw a shit ton of punches.
Oh, they fight.
So Chocolatito has been in a lot of wars, and when you have 50 plus fights and you're 34 in boxing, it's really like you're 50 years old. And we saw Chocolatito in the last fight, even though he lost, he didn't seem hungry to me. That when he lost, that he didn't
Mm,
seem eager to want to fight again. And
you're right.
the
Yeah.
only reason I think he was taking the Estrada fight, I hate to say it because Chocolatito's a legend, but I only think he took it because he's getting a payday, obviously. So I think Julio Cesar Martinez has more to prove. I know Juan says Chocolatito has more to lose, but Julio Cesar Martinez has more to prove. This is his. This is to him. This is equivalent to what Manny Pacquiao versus De La Hoya was. De La Hoya was already the successful, proven fighter. Pacquiao was the guy still making a name for himself at the time, where Pacquiao had to move up 2 weight divisions to fight De La Hoya, and then he ended up coming up and retiring De La Hoya. He whooped De La Hoya's ass. I think not. I'm not saying the same thing's gonna happen, but this is that kind of fight where Julio Cesar Martinez, he's starting to get known. Chocolatito was already he's had his glory days. So I think I'm going El Rey in this one.
Okay.
Damn, that
We
sucks to
shall
be
see
you,
what happens.
Kike. You're gonna be closer to Ricky.
We'll see. You said that last week and already gained on you. So
Now
um,
you haven't.
speak going on gaining. Let's go into our leaderboard, guys. So we do this leaderboard thing where we, like, just like we just discussed the fights, we make our predictions. Uh, if we pick correctly, that's obviously a W on our leaderboard. If we pick incorrectly, that's a loss. So far in 16 fights that we've previewed, Juan has a record of 13-3. I have a record of 12-4, and Ricky has a record of 9-7. So far, Juan in the lead. He's got a 1 point lead on me, and he's got a 4 point lead on Ricky. So, guys, before we end the episode, anything you guys want to tell our fans?
We just want to say thank you for listening, and thank you for watching our videos on YouTube now, watching our first video actually on YouTube now. Um, and obviously we haven't commented back, but we'll try to be a little bit better on that. I saw that there was some comments on there, so um,
Oh,
it.
you know who told me that today at work? Lloyd. Lloyd the voice. That's one of our coworkers. And he was like, "You guys are really bad at responding on YouTube." Like, oh, I didn't even know we had any comments. Yeah, so we got to do that. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, that concludes episode 53. Thanks for joining us. Uh, if you want a boxing channel where you want the most recent news, the biggest fights coming up, the biggest fights that occurred, this is the channel for you. We go, like we said, we go over the biggest fights coming up and the upcoming news. We keep you up to date on everything, and also we're consistent, guys. We come out with an episode every week, so we don't take no breaks. We come out with this stuff every week. And we've been on it for 53 weeks in a row now. That's why it's episode
Wow.
53. So, yeah, guys, thanks for listening. Tell your friends about us, Boxing Talk. Um, thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
See you guys.
Peace.